The Pittsburgh Steelers are always looking to improve and make the right moves to bring championships back to the Steel City. And let's be honest, quarterback is the biggest question mark right now. Who's going to lead this team in 2025? Well, we might have another name to add to the list. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out a ton and keeps you updated on all things Steelers. So here's the latest. According to KOA Colorado's Ben Albright, the Steelers have been keeping an eye on New Orleans Saints quarterback Derek Carr, if he becomes available. Now, that's a big if, but let's break it down. The Saints are in a rough financial spot. They're currently $47.5 million over the salary cap, the worst situation in the entire NFL. That means they need to make big moves to free up money. One of those moves could be releasing Carr before his contract guarantees kick in on March 14th. If they do, he'd become a free agent, and the Steelers would be a team to watch. Carr, 33, has 2 years left on his deal. He's scheduled to make $40 million in 2025 and $50 million in 2026. That's a huge price tag. If the Saints cut him with a post-June 1st designation, they'd save $30 million this season, but take on a lot of dead cap hits in the future. And unlike Russell Wilson's situation last year, where Denver paid most of his salary, Carr wouldn't come at a discount. Any team that signs him would have to pay full market value. Carr's career has been interesting. He spent 9 seasons with the Raiders before heading to the Saints in 2023. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler who's been solid but hasn't been able to get over the hump. Last season, in 10 games, he averaged 214.5 yards per game, completed 67.7% of his passes, and had a 101.0 passer rating. Pretty good numbers, but is he the answer for Pittsburgh? That's the big question. Would Carr be an upgrade over Russell? Wilson or Justin Fields? The Steelers have been linked to a lot of quarterbacks, but GM Omar Khan has made it clear that keeping either Wilson or Fields is the top priority. Still, if Carr becomes available, he could throw a wrench into the plans. Here's where things get even more interesting. While the Steelers are watching Carr's situation, the Las Vegas Raiders are keeping tabs on Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Vegas, who struck out on Matthew Stafford, could go after one of Pittsburgh's quarterbacks. Wilson has a strong connection with Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. They spent 10 years together in Seattle, won a Super Bowl, and have a lot of mutual respect. If the Steelers decide to move forward with Fields, Wilson could be a prime target for Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Fields is still a wild card. The Steelers traded for him last offseason, but he only played a backup role. If they believe he's the future, they could commit to him and let Wilson walk. But if they're not sold on Fields, would they turn their attention to Carr? It's not just the quarterback position that needs work. Pittsburgh has a lot of cap space this offseason, top 10 in the NFL, and plans to make some big moves. One of those moves could be signing a top cornerback. ESPN's Aaron Schatz thinks the Steelers should target DJ Reed. Reed has been one of the NFL's better corners over the past few seasons and is projected to sign a 4-year, $58 million deal. The Steelers need help at CB, especially with Dante Jackson expected to leave in free agency. Another name to watch? Charvarius Ward. He's coming off a second-team All-Pro season in 2023 and has been excellent in coverage. Ward wants out of San Francisco for personal reasons and could be looking for a fresh start. He's expected to command around $15 million per year. The Pittsburgh Steelers have once again found themselves near the bottom of the NFLPA report card rankings. This is the second straight year the organization has been ranked 28th overall, despite some minor improvements in specific categories. One of the biggest storylines coming out of this report is the grade given to team owner and president Art Rooney II. While head coach Mike Tomlin received an A grade, Rooney's grade only improved slightly from an F in 2024 to a D in 2025. That's right. Players still feel that Rooney isn't doing enough when it comes to investing in team facilities, fostering a positive organizational culture, and ensuring the Steelers remain competitive in today's NFL. Essentially, they're calling him cheap. And let's be real, Steelers fans have been voicing similar concerns for years. The biggest criticism leveled at Rooney has to do with the Steelers' training facility, which they share with the University of Pittsburgh. Unlike many NFL teams that have state-of-the-art complexes designed specifically for professional athletes, the Steelers are working with limited space in their South Side location. The facility is wedged between train tracks and the river, meaning expansion is nearly impossible without completely relocating. Longtime Steelers reporter Mark Kavaley, speaking on the Pat McAfee show, argued that this situation has unfairly damaged Rooney's reputation. According to Kavaley, former NFLPA President J.C. Tretter even pointed out that Rooney has been one of the most receptive owners when it comes to addressing player concerns. "I read what J.C. Tretter said," Kavaley explained. "If there was one guy that's been very receptive to this poll, it's been Art Rooney. He's been trying to do upgrades and listen to the players and try to help out. He might be going at a snail's pace, but he did make sure he pointed that out. But depending on what you listen to, we don't hear that." Kavaley believes the only real solution to the Steelers' facility issues is to move away from Pitt and build their own training center elsewhere. He suggested Cranberry Township as a potential site, similar to what the Pittsburgh Penguins did when they moved their practice facility. A larger, modern facility would likely help boost ownership rankings and improve player satisfaction. Kavaley also pointed out that the Steelers aren't alone in this struggle. Other teams that ranked poorly in ownership scores, including the Carolina Panthers, Kansas City Chiefs, Arizona Cardinals, and New England Patriots, also have older facilities. Many of these buildings were considered state-of-the-art 20 years ago, but the NFL is a league that moves fast. Without continuous investment, teams quickly fall behind. The Steelers' low ranking may not be as much about Rooney being unwilling to spend money as it is about the limitations of their current location. The team could remain in Pittsburgh while still relocating their practice facility to a more spacious, player-friendly location. But whether Rooney and the organization take that step remains to be seen. While Tomlin's high marks on the report card were expected, there was one surprising comment from players. They ranked him 15th out of 32 head coaches when it comes to being receptive to locker room feedback. That's interesting, especially considering the drama surrounding the Steelers' quarterback situation in 2024. Reports surfaced about tensions in the locker room, particularly with the defense feeling frustrated over the team's offensive struggles. If Tomlin wants to get this team back to winning postseason games, it's crucial that he keeps the locker room unified and ensures that players feel heard. So, Steelers Nation, what do you think? Should Pittsburgh go after Derek Carr if he gets released? Would he be an upgrade over Wilson or Fields? And what about free agency? Should the Steelers go all in on a top cornerback? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. We've got a wild offseason ahead, and you won't want to miss a second of it. Let's go, Steelers Nation!